Participants, kindly be online. The webinar is going to start.
Good morning, everyone. Screen is
Hello, good
visible,
morning,
sir.
sir. Sir, is it visible to everyone?
The
The
first
first
slide.
slide. Yes, sir. I can see, sir. Research for physiotherapists. Yes, sir. It's visible for me.
Good, good.
Okay. Any of your participants kindly respond. So we can start. So I welcome every participants to the webinar. So which is conducted by IPEL, Interactive Physio E-Learning. So here we used to conduct free webinar, online classes, clinical presentation, journal presentation, and hands-on workshop for physios as well as physiotherapy students. So the IPEL is founded by Dr. Professor Sandosh Raja sir, MPT Orthopedics, and he is a professor in Swami Vivekananda College of Physiotherapy, Namakkal. So today's topic is about research for physiotherapists. I would like to share a few words about the speaker. So Selveswaran sir, Professor Selveswaran sir from KMCH College of Physiotherapy, and he's a very senior he has almost 24 years of clinical teaching and research experience, and it's a great privilege, Professor Selveswaran sir, that you are taking a webinar for IPEL. It's a great
Thank
honor
you.
for us. And myself, Fernandez Franklin, Chief Administrative Officer, IPEL. And I would also like to welcome Professor Sandosh Raja sir to the webinar. Selveswaran sir, is it audible? You can start,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Start பண்ணலாங்களா? No problem, no problem.
Ah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Santosh Raja, sir, for this opportunity, and Franklin, sir, for the organizing. And a very good morning to everyone. I feel very much proud for this opportunity being given and to share my knowledge in the field of research for physiotherapists. There comes a significance. So in each and every field, there are a lot of researchers, not researchers, advanced researchers are going on. Okay. Meanwhile, in our field, it's not that much satisfactory. It's my opinion, I say. So as a professional field authorities, like professional field graduates, many of the people are not having the adequate knowledge in the research methodology and biostatistics, and they are what is it, working in multiple setups, and the tree is going on in just in that way, like, okay. So it's very mandatory for each and every physiotherapy student starting from the second year or starting from the first year itself. Okay, they should learn what is the research process, what are all the stages in it, what about the biostatistics, what about the application of biostatistics in the research methodology in a physiotherapeutic field, physiotherapeutic research process. Okay, that is very much needed. That is the main objective and aim for me to take this particular topic for our field experts. There are a lot of experts in our field. Only thing their knowledge, ability, and skill, practical skill, have not come out adequately in India, especially Tamil Nadu or South India, especially. That should come out. That should be known to the world. There are a lot of potential professionals are there in India to publish their research works to the international level. Okay, so how it will be possible then? Starting from the basic knowledge of this type of knowledge sharing. I hope the objective will be reached, and majority of our uh, professionals and the forthcoming professionals will get benefit from this. So, what is a research? So, with the term itself, you could say research. It is not simply search. Search again and again and again and again. Keep on searching. For what sake? For gaining knowledge, updating knowledge, so that developing oneself, the one himself or herself, and developing the field, and developing or giving that knowledge, improving the knowledge, and applying that knowledge to the world. Or for our sake, like when you take the research is a clinical research in the sense that should give development in the clinical physiotherapy field or rehabilitation field, and that should be applicable for knowledge gaining process, and that should be applicable for improving the developing the physiotherapeutic rehabilitation process. In case it is physiotherapeutic educational research in the sense that research should be helpful for upliftment, curriculum designing, curriculum enrichment, curriculum development. Okay, for such type of goals to be achieved in our field, that type of researches should go on. Especially there comes a very high gap is there. Many of us we are doing during our UG life, PG or PhD level, we are doing a lot of clinical physiotherapy research processes. But how many of the educational physiotherapy educational researches are being done in our country? Okay, when you put that question, there comes a big gap. Okay, there is a high level of advancement in the field of research when you take in each and every field, like big data analysis, meta-analysis, systematic reviews, or a specific observational study or a case study in a thorough manner, very high level of advanced manner, just a case study. I'm telling just a case study, but actually case study is a difficult one to do than a big data analysis, where case study is not of need of a high level of skill. Okay, skill and experience, we could say. Okay, so what is a research? The basic question I come back. Research is a creative and systematic scientific work undertaken to increase the stock of the knowledge, increase the already available knowledge. கற்றது கையளவு, கல்லாதது உலகளவு. உலகளவு இல்ல, இன்னும் இன்னும் அதிகமான டேர்ம்லாம் போடலாம். வேர்ல்டுன்றதுக்கு பதிலாக யூனிவர்சல் லெவல். Then unknown things are universal level it is. Suppose that should be keep on added on. ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவலுக்கு லேர்ன் பண்ணிக்கிறதா, ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவலுக்கான நாலேஜ் கெயின் பண்ணிக்கிறதா அப்படின்னு கேட்டா நோ, இட்ஸ் ஃபார் த ஃபீல்ட். அந்த ஃபீல்டில் வர அடுத்தடுத்து வர ஒவ்வொரு ஜெனரேஷன்ஸ்க்கும் அந்த ஸ்டாக் ஆஃப் நாலேஜ் should be helpful for developing themselves and to develop the field. Certainly. So it's a high level of ongoing process, chain process. Keep on going on. There is no end at all. Endless process. Okay, to develop. So it involves a collection of data, organization of data, analysis of data with adequate evidences to increase the understanding of a topic or a problem. Okay, initiation, like a topic important in the definition, like it could be a research gap, or it should be a problem being identified, and that is being characterized by a particular attentiveness to control, for controlling the sources of bias and error. நிச்சயமாக எல்லாரும் ரிசர்ச் பண்ணலாம், இந்த சென்ஸ் எல்லாரும் பாட்டு பாடலாம், எல்லாரோட பாட்டு நல்லா இருக்குமா, அவங்களுக்கு அவங்க பாட்டு நல்லா கேட்கலாம் அவங்க காதுக்கு. But there are a certain experts only could exhibit, okay, as a high level of singer. Like ரொம்ப சூப்பரா பாடுறவங்க வந்து எல்லாரும் மேக்ஸிமம் ஆஃப் பர்சன்ஸ் who are audible to that particular song, they only could decide, yes, he's a perfect singer, சூப்பரா பாடுறாரு, இந்த மாதிரி வாய்ஸ் அவரு எப்படி கிடைச்சது அவருக்கு அப்படின்ற மாதிரி சொல்ற மாதிரி. When you come to the research, like anyone can do research, but how far the research results are generalizable. Okay, அந்த ஒரு சின்ன என்வரான்மெண்ட்ல ஆர் அந்த ஒரு சின்ன லெவல் ஆஃப் geographical ஏரியால, okay, it should not be ended up with a high level of limitations. Okay, or maximum of bias and errors ஓட ஒரு ரிசர்ச் முடியக்கூடாது. Once again, research is a continuous process. I told ஒரு particular individual or group of persons ஓட ரிசர்ச் முடிஞ்சிடக்கூடாது errors ஓட. So what is the need then? There are a lot of need of refractions and error corrections. Error corrections like, okay, அப்ப அதுக்கு தான் you have the special category of researchers called retrospective researchers and prospective researchers. Research methods la நம்ம படிக்கலாம், but overall research is targeted towards what? In the sense, it's for an effective evidence based physiotherapy practice. Each and everyone just note down, please note down. Okay, effective evidence based physiotherapy practice. Once again, towards innovative way. Innovative. ஒரு 20 years back நாங்க ஒரு பர்టిక్యులர் டெக்னிக் படிச்சிட்டு இருந்தோம் நாங்க படிக்கும்போது அப்படின்னா, அந்த டெக்னிக் இப்பயும் அதே மாதிரி டெக்னிக்காவே அப்ளை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்னா, when it is having a high impact on producing physiological effects and therapeutic effects and functional benefits of a patient, that's okay. But பெருசா இல்ல, அதோட இன்னும் சூப்பரா அட்வான்ஸ்டா அழகா பண்ணலாம், லைக் ட்ரிகர் பாயிண்ட் ரிலீசிங் தெரப்பி, மயோஃபேசியல் ரிலீசிங் டெக்னிக்ஸ். ஸோ அது மாதிரி when you take, so when human beings keep on thinking in the field of physiotherapy, what is further இந்த டெக்னிக்ல ஃபர்தரா இந்த பர்టిక్యులர் இன்டர்வென்ஷனை இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் அட்வான்ஸ்டா எப்படி கொடுக்கலாம், இன்னும் எஃபெக்டிவ் எப்படி கொண்டு வரலாம். ஸோ இந்த அளவுக்கு அவுட்கம் வர்றதுக்கு, ப்ரோக்னோசிஸ் வர்றதுக்கு 1 வீக் எடுக்குது, அதையும் ஒரு 3 டேஸ்ல கொண்டு வர முடியாது. இல்ல இவ்வளவு காஸ்ட் எடுக்குது, அதே ஒரு கம்மியான காஸ்ட்ல நம்ம கொடுக்க முடியாது அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி when you put a lot of questions, like for those questions you should go for the researchers and identify the answers. Once again, effective answers, applicable answers when you get. So that is nothing but innovation. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி யாரும் பண்ணாத ஒண்ண பண்றது. Okay, extra முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு எக்ஸ்ட்ராordinary பண்றது. That is nothing but a research in the field of physiotherapy. Remember, feel proud to be as a physiotherapist and execute that. பெருமைப்பட்டா பத்தாது, டாக்டர்னு போடணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்டா பத்தாது, அதை வந்து நம்ம அந்த அளவுக்கு ஸ்டஃப் டெவலப் பண்ணணும், ஸ்கில் டெவலப் பண்ணணும், தியரிட்டிக்கலி அண்ட் ப்ராக்டிக்கலி. தி இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் ஆஃப் EBPP, எவிடன்ஸ் பேஸ்ட் ப்ராக்டிஸ். ஓகே, evidence based physiotherapy practice is fundamental to physiotherapy. Certainly any field, it's a fundamental one. It integrates clinical expertism, patient values and the best research evidences, and so that best practice and development. Okay, and of course innovation. All this approach ensures the patients receive effective treatment techniques and intervention techniques based on the latest findings. Adha note down பண்ணிக்கோங்க, latest findings. ஒரு 30 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி எழுதிருக்கிற ஒரு புக்ல இருக்கிற டெக்னிக்ன்றது வேற, இப்ப ரீசெண்டா என்ன கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்காங்க நம்ம ஃபீல்டுல, அதை நம்ம அப்டேட் பண்ணிருக்கோமா, அதை நம்ம அப்ளை பண்ணி பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோமா நம்ம ஃபீல்டுல. இந்த சென்ஸ், அமெரிக்கால ஒருத்தர் ஒரு இன்டர்வென்ஷன் கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்கான், ஒரு மொடாலிட்டி வந்து கண்டுபிடிச்சு அதுக்கு பேட்டன்சி வாங்கி வச்சிருக்கான் அப்படின்னா, அதை நம்ம இங்க அப்ளை பண்ண முடியுமா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் அது வாங்க முடியுமா, அந்த அளவுக்கு மணி இருக்கா நம்ம கிட்ட. ஒருவேளை ஓகே, மணி இஸ் குட், வி ஆர் ஹைலி எக்கனாமிக்கலி ஏபிள், அந்த மெஷின் நம்ம அந்த ஒரு அப்பாரட்டஸ் ஒரு மொடாலிட்டியை வாங்கிட்டோம், பட் அதை அப்ளை பண்ணி பார்க்கும்போது யூஎஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ற மாதிரியே அதோட அவுட்கம் வந்து இங்க இருக்குமா அப்படின்னு கேட்டா we cannot tell in a confirmative way. ஒரு கிராஸா வேணா சொல்லலாம், ஓகே, பட் ரிசர்ச் இஸ் நாட் a grass inference. We should prove with evidences. Once again, with the help of doing a research and applying biostatistics in that. அதுல வர கன்க்ளூஷன்ஸ் தான் பேசணும். சும்மா வாயில எல்லாமே நம்ம பேசுறது எல்லாமே வந்து ஃபேக்ட் ஆயிடாது இல்லையா, யார் வேணா பேசலாம். So then how it will get its value in the sense, by means of evidence based practice and getting the inferences only, ultimately leading to the improved health outcomes in the rehabilitation field with the physiotherapists once again, and increased patient satisfaction always. So education la pathina, what is the current trend? It is outcome based education and artificial intelligence la ipo romba high level la poitu irukku. So it's outcome based education, in the sense who is the எஜுகேஷன்ல யாரு நெட் பெனிஃபிட் ஆகுறது யாருன்னு கேட்டா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எந்த அளவுக்கு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை ஆனாரு உங்க டீச்சிங்ல, அப்போ உங்க டீச்சிங் மெத்தட் இஸ் குட், ஒரு டீச்சிங் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜி இஸ் குட், அப்படி நம்ம ஒரு இன்ஃபுளுன்ஸ்க்கு வர முடியும். அதே இது when you come for the clinical field concern, உங்களோட பிசியோதெரபி ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் சூப்பரா இருந்தது, ரொம்ப அருமையா எனக்கு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருந்தது, லைஃப் டைம் நான் உங்களை மறக்கவே மாட்டேன் உங்க ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்டை அப்படின்னு ஒரு பேஷண்ட் ஃபீட்பேக் கொடுக்குறாரு, or he is getting a maximum of satisfaction and getting a maximum of functional outcome in the sense, okay, there comes the success in the field of physiotherapy. Okay, so when you take into the basic very evaluation process and pathina, there are 5 sources of evidences. Adula first 2 or the first 3 very traditional, very old one: tenacity, authority, personal experience. The English terminology itself will give the meaning. Tenacity more commonly referred to custom and traditional beliefs. ஆரம்ப காலங்கள்ல ரிசர்ச்சஸ் அப்படிதான் இருந்தது, ஒரு நம்பிக்கை. அது நம்ம ஊர்ல இந்தியன் மெடிசின்ஸ்ல ட்ரெடிஷனல் மெடிசின்ஸ்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா, என்னோட தாத்தா சொன்னாரு, நானும் அதை ஃபாலோ பண்றேன், அது ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகுது, ஜஸ்ட் லைக் தட். ஒரு செயின் ஃப்ரம் ஒன் ஜெனரேஷன் டு அனதர் ஜெனரேஷன் வித்தவுட் மச் ஆஃப் எவிடன்சஸ் ஆர் டாக்குமெண்டேஷன். அது இல்லாம ஜஸ்ட் லைக் தட் பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணது, ஜஸ்ட் லைக் தட் ரிசர்ச்னு சொல்லி பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தது. there is nothing but tenacity. The other one is authority, somewhat dominating way, okay, doing it in a domination like, okay, personal authority when you take like, okay, so அந்த இடத்துல வந்து some sort of compulsion will come, that will make the thing to be done. Okay, the third one is personal experience. அதான் நம்ம இங்க கேஸ் ஸ்டடில எல்லாம் சொல்றது. அந்த இடத்துல கேஸ் ஸ்டடின்றது பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் மட்டும் இல்ல, அந்த பேஷண்ட் என்ன மாதிரி டெவலப் ஆகுறாரு அதை கீழே நம்ம அப்சர்வ் பண்ணும்போது how far the growth is, how far the expected outcome is coming in that particular research process அப்படின்றது. ஆனா அது சயின்டிபிக் ஒன்ஸ் அகைன் மோர் அட்வான்ஸ்ட் ஒன் லைக் பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் வித் தட். நீங்க ஒரு இன்டர்வியூ எடுக்கிறீங்க ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவல் பத்தி, அவர் வந்து லைஃப்ல ஒரு லோ லெவல்ல இருந்து ஹை லெவலா டெவலப், ஹை லெவல்ல ரீச் ஆயிருக்கிறாரு, லைஃப்ல சக்சஸ் ஆயிருக்கிறாரு. So you go and ask him like how this particular success has happened in your life sir அப்படின்னு கேக்குறீங்க. So you go for one interview towards a particular individual's growth and development life. So அவரோட பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் அவர் சொல்றாரு, அதை நம்ம ஜெனரலைஸ் பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா that could come in that particular category. But the somewhat better one, when the researchers got a full idea of a scientific process அப்படின்னு கேட்டா by means of inductive and deductive reasoning only. Okay, inductive and deductive reasoning. What is inductive? Okay, so it's from generalization to the specific one. Like for deductive concern, multiple specific results, different persons research பண்ணி different results கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க, அதுல இருந்து coming to one particular specific conclusion or a specific fact being inferred is deductive. Okay, ரெண்டு அப்படியே opposite, but both the things are quite helpful in case of scientifically proving a research process concern. Very somewhat in the 80s நம்ம கண்ட்ரில 70s 80s அப்படின்ற டைம்ல எல்லாம் ரிசர்ச் என்னன்னு கேட்டா இட்ஸ் நதிங் பட் இண்டக்டிவ் டிடக்டிவ் ரீசனிங் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்களே, ஒரு பயங்கரமான ஒரு சயின்டிபிக் எக்ஸ்பர்ட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி லெவல் இருந்தது. பட் இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் இண்டக்டிவ் டிடக்டிவ் ரீசனிங் ஒன்லி. அதை தவிர பெருசா வேற ஒன்னும் அவருக்கு தெரியாதா ரிசர்ச் பத்தி அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ரொம்ப கேஷுவலா கேட்கற மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு. ஓகே, சோ முன்னாடி வந்து போன் கால் எப்படி ஒரு ட்ரங்க் கால் போட்டாங்க, இப்போ எப்படி செல்போன் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு ஒரு குழந்தையவும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. ஸோ இப்போ ரிசர்ச் ப்ராசஸ் இப்போ என்னன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் மேட்டர் ஆஃப் ஹை லெவல் ஆஃப் அட்வான்ஸ்ட் லெவல் ஆஃப் சயின்டிபிக் இன்கொயரி. ஓகே, once again with a high level of innovation to the possible extent. Once again depends upon the type of research only you could use a term called innovation. Already available data வச்சு நம்ம புதுசா ஒன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம், இன்ஃபர் பண்ணலாம். Okay, so these are your basic things related to the evaluation of research process and gaining knowledge. What about the types of research? There are many categorization. நீங்க ஒரு 5 or 6 research methodology books எடுத்து படிச்சு பாருங்க, each and every one after this class is over. இல்ல ஆல்ரெடி படிச்சிருந்தீங்கனாலே அந்த டவுட் வரும், என்னன்னா அது இவ்வளவு டைப்ஸ் போட்டிருக்காங்க, ஒண்ணுக்கு ஒண்ணு பயங்கரமா குழப்புதே, டிஃபரெண்ட் யாரோ லைக் அன்மியூட் பண்றீங்க, மியூட் பண்ணுங்க. It's being a disturbance here. உங்களோட ஆடியோ மியூட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா Okay, so let us go on. So this is a very common opinion from the especially the initial learners of research processes concerned. இல்ல ரிசர்ச் மெத்தடாலஜின்ற ஒரு ஃபீல்டுக்குள்ள இப்பதான் வந்திருக்கிறாரு சார். ரிசர்ச் புக் எடுத்து பார்த்தா பயங்கரமா நிறைய புது புது டெர்மினாலஜிஸ் போடுறாங்க சார், பயங்கரமா குழப்பது, ஒண்ணுமே புரிய மாட்டேங்குது, அதனால எனக்கு படிக்க தோண மாட்டேங்குது அப்படின்றவங்க தான் வெரி காமன் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஒரு நியூ லேர்னர், இனிஷியல் லேர்னர் ஆஃப் ரிசர்ச் மெத்தடாலஜி அப்படின்னு போகும்போது. அப்ப அதை பார்த்து நம்ம பயப்படக்கூடாது. Okay, so initial level, cognitive level of learning always will be having more difficulty and barriers which need a lot of feedbacks. Like, அப்போ when you go on about research பத்தி நீங்க டீடைலா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா know lot of taxonomies, vocabularies, நிறைய terminologies தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. அந்த ஒவ்வொரு terminologiesக்கும் exact meaning என்ன, இல்ல some sort of deviated meanings என்ன, அதையும் கூட தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். ஒவ்வொரு ஊர்லயும் என்ன மாதிரி terminologies யூஸ் பண்றாங்க அப்படிங்கறது கூட தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறது far better it is. அப்போ types of research according to multiple categories and multiple criterion when you take. For an example, according to the purpose of the research, you could divide the researchers basically a theoretical research, then applied research. இப்போ anatomy படிக்கிறோம், எதுக்குன்னா applied anatomy தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்காண்டி, அப்புறம் biomechanics, applied biomechanics or pathomechanics, அப்புறம் kinesiology தெரிஞ்சுக்கிற அந்த ப்ராசஸ் மாதிரி. ஓகே, ஸோ வெறும் தியரிட்டிக்கல் ரிசர்ச் அப்படின்றது என்ன யூஸ்? இப்போ நான் உங்களுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்கிறது ஒரு தியரிட்டிக்கல் நாலேஜ், அவ்வளவுதான். இதை மட்டும் வச்சு என்ன யூஸ்? இது தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு யூ ஷுட் டூ ஆ ரிசர்ச் ப்ராசஸ். நீங்க ஒரு ரிசர்ச் பண்ணணும், அது மாதிரி இன்னும் நிறைய ரிசர்ச்சஸ் பண்ணணும். அப்படிங்கும் போது தான் யூ வில் கெட் மோர் ஆஃப் ரிசர்ச் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். ஸோ அப்போ அப்ளிகேஷன் ஆஃப் த தியரிட்டிக்கல் நாலேஜ் இன் டு த ப்ராக்டிஸ் தட் இஸ் கமிங் இன் த ஃபீல்ட் ஆஃப் ரிசர்ச் வரும்போது தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் அப்ளைட் ரிசர்ச். ஸோ அக்கார்டிங் டு த பர்பஸ் ஆஃப் ரிசர்ச் இந்த ரெண்டு கேட்டகரைசேஷன் வருது. அக்கார்டிங் டு த டெப்த் ஆஃப் ஸ்கோப், எப்பயுமே வந்து whatever we do something, there should be some sort of objectives, there should be some sort of scope or aim or goal to be achieved. According to that, the researches could be categorized into an explorative research study, or it could be a descriptive research study, and an explanatory research study. These three categories will come. Okay, இப்பெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா அட்வான்ஸ் ரிசர்ச்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா there are a lot of mixed researchers. Okay, so when you take the third categorization according to the types of data being used, what type of data நீங்க கலெக்ட் பண்றது ஒரு பர்టిక్యులர் பாப்புலேஷன், ஒரு கிளினிக்கல் பாப்புலேஷன்ல ஒரு பிசியோதெரபி ரிசர்ச் பண்றதுன்றது டார்கெட். என்ன மாதிரி டேட்டா கலெக்ட் பண்றீங்க? they are quantitative datas or qualitative. நீங்க டிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ண போறது இல்ல இன்ஃபர் பண்ண போறது. ஓகே, so when they are quantitative parameters and biomarkers, you are going to analyze and you are going to come for a conclusion. In the sense that research is a quantitative research. Illa sir, some sort of higher order level. Okay, I am going to analyze only the qualitative variables, qualitative data being inferred. அதை வந்து டீடைலா அனலைஸ் பண்ணி இன்டர்பிரட் பண்ணி அதை வச்சு நான் ரிசல்ட் கொடுக்க போறேன் அப்படின்னா that is a qualitative research. இப்போ இதுல கரண்ட் ட்ரெண்ட் என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா மிக்ஸ்டு ரிசர்ச். இதுல மிக்ஸ்டு ரிசர்ச்ன்றது இங்க நான் காமிக்கல. when you take here this particular thing I am coming like the third column, இதுல you have the special category. The current one is for mixed research, in the sense quantitative qualitative researchers, like that it will come. Okay, so that also going on. இப்போ வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த மாதிரி ரிசர்ச்சஸ் தான் ரொம்ப அதிகமா நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு. ஆனா நம்ம பேசிக் குவான்டிடேட்டிவ் ரிசர்ச்னா என்ன, குவாலிட்டேட்டிவ் ரிசர்ச்னானே என்னன்னு தெரியாம இருக்கிற பட்சத்துல, ஏபிசிடி தெரியாம இருக்கிற பட்சத்துல ஒரு போயம் எழுதுறதோ இல்ல ஒரு இடியம் அண்ட் ஃப்ரேசஸ் எழுதுறதோ எப்படி, ஹவு இட் இஸ் பாசிபிள் இல்லையா? அது மாதிரி தான். ஸோ இப்போ பேசிக்ஸ் ஃபுல்லா நல்லா தரவு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டோம்னா அதோட அப்ளை பார்ட் ஹையர் லெவல், இன்னும் ஹையர் லெவல் போறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப ஈஸி. ஓகே, ஸோ குவான்டிடேட்டிவ் ரிசர்ச்னா என்ன டீடைலா தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க, குவாலிட்டேட்டிவ் ரிசர்ச்னா என்ன டீடைல் தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. தென் யூ ட்ரை டு டூ a quantitative and qualitative mixed research. அடுத்து நீங்க பண்ண போற ஆல்ரெடி ரிசர்ச் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, அடுத்த ரிசர்ச் பண்ண போறீங்கன்னா எஸ் சார், எஸ் மேம்.
Excuse me, sir. Can you just use the English language because we are unable to understand the other language?
Certainly, madam. I just move on with English only.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
the
Lord.
yeah. When you take this particular category, so instead of doing just quantitative research alone or qualitative research alone, go for mixed research types like designs concern, like where you will analyze both quantitative data and as well as qualitative data. Okay, that type of mixed researches are the current current trends going on actually. Okay, so the steps should go on always to the advanced level after learning the very basic level concern. Okay, this is one categorization. The very next level is where according to the sources of information being got, you could categorize the research as the primary research and the secondary research, but always the advanced one will be put first. Okay, who is the best leader, that he will get the high level of significance in a society, isn't it? So primary research and secondary research, okay, according to the sources of information. For an example, you are collecting some sort of parameters, quantitative parameters or qualitative parameters of your patients. What about the pre-test parameters? What about the post-test parameters? You analyze that and you come for a conclusion or conclusions. In the sense, it could be considered as a primary research. But you go to one particular physiotherapy department which is working for the past 30 years. They have adequate, smart way of documentation they have done. You collect all those with their permission and an ethical consideration, proper ethical consideration. Okay, you try to get those data. You go for a retrospective analysis. Okay, that particular physiotherapy unit is a middle order rehabilitation center related with head injury or a traumatic brain injury or a traumatic spinal cord injury, for an example. Okay, 30 years back, how the data collections were, how the outcome with a specific intervention for the past 30 years, how and all that particular outcome processes or overall the functional outcome processes, like, okay, that has got evolved or they have got developed. Okay, like that you go for a retrospective process. In the sense, there is a typical example for a secondary research. Okay, already available data. Okay, with that you initiate your you identify the research gap and you try to do your research. With that, come for some sort of inferences, new inferences, and furthermore you proceed your analysis, interpretation, and conclusions. All those your systematic reviews, meta-analysis, and all will come under your secondary researches. Okay, then the very next category, according to the time you spend in doing a research, time rather duration you take for completing a research. At a stretch, okay, within a short period of time or within a day, you take a survey, you send one questionnaire to everyone. Nowadays, it's very highly possible, right? With the help of the internet and the development of the high level of software's utility. Just like that, within few seconds, within few minutes, you could collect hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of data in your computer all of a sudden. Like so just like over 10 or 15 questions, question now it is. Okay, you are you are sending to thousands of people or 10,000 people, for an example, subjects, 10,000 subjects you send that particular questionnaire, and you get the answers from them, the feedback or inferences from them. Like you have got your data within few minutes. Okay, very short period of time. Once again, somewhat a large geographical area. Okay, different regions of India, all around the world you could collect nowadays. All are coming under your cross-sectional study. But the other category called longitudinal study, where usually the sample size will be relatively smaller, not very much bigger, not very smaller also. But you are supposed to observe or go for doing that experiment, okay, and explore something by means of collecting the data or going for the observation for a relatively longer period of time. For an example, 6 months or 1 year, or 2 3 years or 5 years, 10 years also. Mostly these type of longitudinal studies will be done in case of community physiotherapy or community physiotherapeutic rehabilitation processes. So how far a particular problem or particular treatment intervention outcome is going on for a longer period of time. Previously, what example was given? I have given retrospective. I told no, one particular middle order rehabilitation center for a longer period of time, how the outcome they have been producing. Like that, you would like to analyze. In the sense, it's a retrospective only, but according to the time duration, it is a longitudinal study. Okay, plus cross-section study you could do within 3 weeks period of time also. You give one particular intervention, Pre-test data you have collected. 3 weeks you have applied on intervention. After 3 weeks, you take a post-test data. You compare the pre-test post-test data with the specific statistical method. What type of study is that? In the sense, it's a cross-sectional study. Okay. Then coming to the next category, according to the type of inferences you get. Already I've told this one. It's an inductive research process and deductive research process. Whole to center inference or multiple inferences to come into the central or main one particular conclusion. Okay, inductive and deductive. Very basic terminologies only. Okay, so coming to the last one, according to the degrees of manipulation of the variables, it's having its own high impact concern. There are a lot of categories of variables when you take and go through research methodology books concern or biostatistics books concern. Very basic type of variables. What you could say when you want to do a research or experimental study or quasi-experimental study, what is your independent variable? What are your dependent variables? Like that, in the Viva they used to ask the what to say, the evaluator or examiner they used to ask in the Viva when they would like to assess your research process in the sense. Okay. So the independent variable, dependent variable, like that, you have many categories of variables concerned. According to those variables being manipulated, you could categorize the research as called quasi-experimental research, non-experimental research, experimental researchers. Okay. As far as utilizing the human beings as the study subjects, doing these experimental researchers are having high level of practical difficulties, especially follow data collection, long-term studies. Okay, that are somewhat difficult, especially in our field. Why? In the sense, most of our clinical setups are being designed for the sake of acute cares only, acute care of physiotherapy interventions only. Nowadays, only the middle order rehabilitation centers and all started coming in our own geographical areas. But after a few years, okay, you will have this is my prediction. Many middle order rehabilitation centers will come. In those all those centers, we could be able to do a lot of these type of high level of innovative and high level of technologically developed experimental researches will be possible by us, certainly. For that, we all should become ready. Okay, pure experimental or quasi experimental research studies and all. Okay. Coming to quantitative research methods, you could categorize as non-experimental, experimental. Don't know. In that, you have the subcategories concerned. Non-experimental research methods. You have number one, very commonly being done is your observational research. A method in certain books when you see that might be mentioned as designs also. Observational research design, like that. What is the basic meaning behind that? When you understand that, that's enough. Terminologies according to the demand being given to you, you use the terminologies. So observational research design, that might be looking like observational research study. Yeah. What is there in that? Or very, very small task. What is there in that to discuss in depth or what to say? Document to a higher level to an international journal, like that only our people in our setup, like we used to ask this type of. I think we think as if observational study is a very low level one. Anyone can do like that, but actually it's a very difficult one. Observation. See, there is a lot of difference in the English terminology vocabulary. What you see, what you look into, and what you observe, all are different. Everything done by our eyes only, but not only eyes. Observation not only done by eyes alone, vision alone. Okay, a lot of cognitive functions, intellectual functions, cognitive functions are needed to analyze in depth, observe in depth. Okay, once again, not a short period of time, relatively longer period of time, observe what is going on. Either it is a cause and effect related, or a comparison, or a correlation, whatever the type, the non-experimental research it might be. So you could be able to skillful to observe in depth. You need experience, high level of experienced persons only could do this study. So youngsters very very fresh graduates and all could not be able to do, sir, in the sense they could do. But the aim and objective, they should keep according to their level so that they could do their own observational research studies. It's possible. But a higher level of observational study with innovative inferences and conclusions you want to give, in the sense a high level of expertism is compulsorily needed to do a observational research study. The very next category is archived data research method. Okay, here it's not a single research like the basic data what to say bank. So I told you like big data analysis. Nowadays there is going on to a greater extent. So you have archived, you collect multiple researchers results and conclusions and their data analysis. You bring it to one particular frame according to a specific criterion, inclusion criterion, exclusion criterion, according to your aim and objective of your own study. Screen and exclude the unnecessary things or biased things, and which are not coming to your framework. Select those studies alone. Go for the common data analysis that come for the new inference, new conclusions. That is your archived data research method. The last one is a very commonly being done one is your survey research method. Survey, very common terminology only. You make a particular data collection tool, a questionnaire, or it could be what to say, or software related, or particular treatment related opinions like suggestions like, or what about their post experience, or for a very common example we could say after seeing a movie one person used to a media person used to go and ask like how about the movie, what about your opinion, which is what about the advantages of it, what about the disadvantages of it. When you are being as a director, how will you do that? Like there multiple questions will be asked and different persons will give their own opinions according to their own level of appreciation and their own level of knowledge. Okay, suppose there comes our survey research method. Usually for doing a survey research method, you are in need of a large sample size. You cannot do survey and generalize the result with 2% opinions or 5% opinions. Minimum, I used to say to my students like minimum 200 subjects you should. Minimum. More maximum is up to your ability. Like that I used to say. Okay, you refer the books how a survey research should be done. Go through a lot of books, then only it will be possible. How far that particular person was talking in that particular media like that, but how far that was fact. The fact it is true, or it is being acceptable. Okay, for you once again, you are supposed to go through a lot of books, then only it is possible. So non-experimental research methods I have briefly told. Coming to the experimental research methods, pre-experimental research method, quasi-experimental research method, true experimental research method, single subject research method. And thus, true experimental research method is somewhat very difficult to do among the human beings. So you are supposed to go for very initial period they have done. But now the problems are not, we should not say as problems. We could say as development in the field of or refining in the field of research, ethical considerations. By doing your research, you want to do a research, okay, it's good, but because of that, either yourself or your research subjects, they are also human beings, patients, they are also human beings. Their privacy should not be revealed outside, or personally they should not be physically or mentally hurted. So all those things are being supervised by an ethical committee. So you want to do a research and you would like to publish that research in an international journal, in the sense, first and foremost question they will ask you, after getting the ethical committee approval only you have done your research, like that they will ask question. Suppose this is one of the basic things you're supposed to keep it in your mind. Whenever you want to do a very perfect research, you submit your research proposal to a perfect research ethical committee before to the scientific committee, in the sense physiotherapeutic scientific committee, get the approval from them, and then go to the nearby or approachable for you, the approachable ethical committee, get the approval from them, and then only you are supposed to start your research. That is more smart way of doing research. Otherwise, nowadays that is not at all a research at all. You cannot generalize it, you cannot publish it. Maybe some sort of predatory journals they may publish, but it is based. You are supposed to publish your research inferences in indexed journals, indexed international journals only. So for that, what type of research you are supposed to take? Either you have got the ethical committee approval or not, all those things you are supposed to see in a very careful way. Coming to the research processes, it's 10:40 already. I try to complete in a fast way. The initiation of research starts from, see, I have given research process. Under that I have given some words in bracket, very much important, that also you note down. The research process is not just like as if I have shown in this image, going in one particular unilateral pathway or one way. நம்ம டிராஃபிக்ல போற ஒன் வே மாதிரி கிடையாது. It's not so. It's not one way entry, no entry pathway. Okay, it's not so. Always it's having its own bilateral pathways, in the sense feed, so necessary, with the necessary research process, with the necessary adequate and appropriate feed forwards and feedbacks processes, sub processes should go on. In the sense you develop an inquiry, you come into one doubt, a problem you are raising. Okay, related with that, you develop one research question or multiple research question. Let that be one as a primary question, the other one second, others are secondary questions. That is all okay. Coming to the review of literature, after doing the review of literature, you are supposed to go for a feed forward, like either we have reached to the adequate level of reviews we have reviewed or not, related reviews only we have done or not, like that. So feedback, it is actually feedback. But when you start, before starting the research itself, you go for the review of literature, right? In that, what you are supposed to study, in that only majority of the initial learners or initial beginners of the research, இப்பதான் first research பண்ண போறேன், initiator, they will have very high level of difficulty in identifying which reviews, which journals we are supposed to study, that which are all the things are supposed to be included in our study. In that they will struggle a lot. So the initial stages of our research, very difficult aspect or very difficult stage of a research to be done is nothing but review of literature only. You ask any expertise to researcher, they will give this what is, this is a right opinion, right inference only, like that they will come along with my knowledge. Like review of literature, very high level of what to say, sensitive, high level of sensitivity. Okay, it's having in this particular area of or portion of the research concern, the level of research concern. Reviews of the multiple related literatures. Okay, then you come for an idea, what about the research study design we are supposed to study, design selection. I was telling you, like, you want to do an experimental study or a non-experimental study, you want to do a descriptive study or a correlative study, or you want to associate multiple factors. According to the statistical method also you could categorize the researchers. Okay, all those things you are supposed to you should, the knowledge you are supposed to imply over here to design your study. Initial framework, like, or a blueprint for a building to be constructed by a civil engineer, you are supposed to design your study, and then you should have the adequate needed instruments, and for that adequate fund you have or not. If you don't have a fund, you should apply for application of funds and grants. There are a lot of national level and international level organizations for funding for your researchers when those researchers are what to say, truly acceptable, practically feasible, and it is innovative, they will welcome you to give the grants. Crores and crores of monies and all they are ready to give to you if you are having that capability and stuff, and you prove yourself. Yes, certainly this particular team or this particular individual could be able to achieve their targets or objectives to be done. Objectives for the research to be done. அப்படின்ற ஒரு that particular confidence you give to them, in the sense that assurance you give to them, in the sense, so they are ready to give grants. There are a lot of grants internationally available, especially for the sake of clinical areas like physiotherapy researchers. Physiotherapy you want to find what to say, introduce something innovatively, innovative intervention or innovative assessment tool or an apparatus. Okay, for all such researchers, they are ready to give. They have adequate money, but either we are capable or not to prove ourselves. We are an expertise researcher. There comes a very big gap. So instruments, there are a lot of things are there to tell here. So okay, you have got adequate instruments, tools, assessment methods, copy this one, what to say, formal permission to be got. You want to use some tools for your study, in the sense all those things will come under here. Then coming to your recruiting and sampling, recruiting the study subjects under specific sampling method, either randomized, what to say, this one, probability sampling methods and non-probability sampling methods. It depends upon the study, that will vary, that will change. So you're supposed to know about all the subcategories of probability sampling methods and non-probability sampling methods. So sampling, when you go for minimum, what is the minimum number of the sample size is very important. Minimum number. So you have specific statistical methods to determine your sample size without considering that. Just like that, you put one gross number of study subjects and you start your research in a highly expertized way, but you didn't bother about your sample size, in the sense your research will go into failure only. You cannot publish, you cannot generalize your results. So determining the sample size for your research, for the objectives of your research to be met and your conclusions to be generalized, you are supposed to be very careful, very sensitive in determining the sampling method and to determining the sample size. Okay, all the people try to note down this particular point also. Okay, determining the sampling method and sample size, very much important. Okay, very next one is data collection. You have a lot of tools, quantitative and qualitative related tools, or descriptive type of tools, interview, or simply subjective questionnaire like visual analog scale, very simple. Okay, or your rate of perceived exertion box scale for angina pectoris or a cardiac problem patient. Very basic level of tool to very high level of advanced tools with softwares. Okay, lot of tools are available, assessment tools. By utilizing all those things, you could collect your multiple data, like including the demographic variables data and all other inferences or biomarkers related with your research objectives to be met. You should collect the data. Okay, after collecting the data, you're supposed to go for data handling. This itself a skilled one. Data handling you should do. Okay, and all the things you are supposed to be very careful. The confidentiality should be maintained for the ethical purpose. Just like that, you should not disprove or you should not give to anybody of your patients, your research subjects informations. That should not be revealed just like that. Okay, for that to follow. So within a short period of time, no one could tell all the things, but there are many things are there to be considered. Data handling. Okay, a lot of things are there related with confidentiality alone. Then okay, you have collected data and you are maintaining, handling in a proper way. Okay, you should analyze the data, right? Analysis of data. So here comes your application of your, furthermore, in all the stages you have your feed forward and feedback. Application of statistics, biostatistics, data analysis. compulsorily you should go for the specific method or methods of biostatistic implementation, data analysis. So when you go for a data analysis itself, you'll get one more research question, sub question, or one more secondary objective you may get. For prove that secondary objective or to get the answer for that secondary objective, you might be in need of one more statistical method, and related with that result also you could analyze. Or simply after completing the overall data analysis, you may have one more question, so that you could go for a post hoc analysis. So you will have a lot of different categories of analysis itself, and the representation also, like how you could, the very next level is your writing and reporting. Like, so here, to whom you are going to report is very important. Or a student, for a student, or one UG student, he is doing a research for the period of 1 year in a perfect way, but he didn't write it or typed it or framed it in a proper way, in the sense it will become waste. No one will read, no one will bother, or it will not be getting its approval. So documentation is very, very important. This itself will take even 4 to 5 hours of discussion, writing and reporting. Once again, it is ending up with inquiry. So from the starting point, there is no starting point or termination point over here. It's a continuous process. That's what I told in the initially. Either it has met the inquiry at a very initial level of initiation of the problem, it has met or not. Like that, it will go on. Like qualities of research: validity, reliability, rigorous methodology, ethical conduct. I told already. Reproducibility. The research should be done again and again. When you're done, it should bring out furthermore inferences. Reproducibility is very much important for a good quality research concern. And of course, how much of contribution of knowledge it has brought to the world of physiotherapy, world of the field of physiotherapy. According to that, the quality of research will vary. The clear communication related to the documentation concern. How far the research has brought a clear communication to the very next persons going to go through or going to revise those surgeries. Those researchers. For them, it should reach in a proper way without any misunderstanding or communication gaps. So for that, the quality of research will come with clear communication. And of course, peer reviews, very much important. For you want to publish a journal, in the sense, what is a common, very basic process will go on. You apply, they will accept. Okay, after accepting, what will go on? Peer reviewing will go on. After peer reviewing only, it will go to the editor level. Editor is also accepting, then only it will be published. So peer review is very much important. Each and every researcher, they should know to do the research process in physiotherapy. Meanwhile, they should have the ability to review the researchers, how far are giving the ideas, your own concepts, in case you have done that particular research. தமிழ்ல எல்லாம் ஒரு இது வைப்பாங்க, நீ முதல்வர் ஆனால் நான் முதல்வர் ஆனால் என்னெல்லாம் பண்ண. If you have become as a chief minister of a state, what are the things you will do? Like that, even nowadays and all, they used to keep speech competition, essay competition, like that and all. Just like that, the peer review should go on in that way. When you do that research, what are all the things you might have done? What are things you missed out? Like what are things are negligible? Like that, you are supposed to go for review. Very much important stage it is. Then precision and accuracy. Any process you do, it should have its own precision and accurate level. It should be done. The last but not least is objectivity. Actually, it is supposed to come at first. Without objectives, nothing is. Like aim and objectives, very, very important thing for your research to be initiated. Writing a research report, once again, it's having a large time consuming one. But I conclude with this. Okay. And in a nutshell concern, clinical documentation in the medical record should be complete, it should be legible, and it should be timely framed. It should be concise. Okay, it should not be like blabbering something. Concise way of conveying your knowledge to be conveyed to the concerned persons. It should be clear. Once again, it is the subjects oriented, patient oriented, and it should be accurate. It should be completely fulfilled to the objectives or the aim of the research concern. Okay, there comes the thing. Research grant writing process, one more, a large one, but there is no time for us. I conclude with this. Those who are having any doubts to be asked, you could ask. I've gone in a fast way only, but no other way. But I give the number, my number to the concerned persons who organize this particular webinar. You could contact me in person. You could try to clarify your doubts in private also. I'm ready to help any physiotherapist to do their research. To my possible extent, I am ready to help and guide. Yeah, anyone willing to ask any doubts?
Hi, sir.
Yes, madam. Good morning. Good morning. Good
Myself,
afternoon.
Priyadashini.
Yes, ma'am.
சார் நீங்க டேட்டா கலெக்ட் பண்ணி படிக்கணும்னு சொன்னீங்கல்ல சார்,
Yes, ma'am.
அது வந்து நாங்க ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் கேட்டாலே கொடுப்பாங்களா சார்? அதே மாதிரி இன்டர்நெட்ல சர்ச் பண்ணா ஈஸியா அது கிடைக்குமாங்க சார்?
It depends upon the problem statement and the aim of the study. Once
Okay,
again,
sir.
most of the institutions, how they will give the data, because it's not their own data. It's a patient's information. Ilya.
Yes, sir.
So you should prove yourself that you will maintain the confidentiality of the data.
Okay, sir.
When you don't give that assurance or they don't have the trust on you, no one will give, because it will bring a high level of medico legal issue.
Okay, sir. I
So,
have another. Okay, sir.
yeah, yes, ma'am.
One more doubt, sir. Scholarship இதுக்கு அவைலபிளா இருக்குமாங்க சார் ரிசர்ச் பண்றதுக்கு?
The scholarship is nothing but the grants I told. Scholarship னு சொல்லக்கூடாது. For doing a degree, for completing a degree, scholarship from the state level or national level or international level or some sort of funding agencies or organizations or trusts, they will give you scholarships or funds, like when you take. For doing research, and the scholarship சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க. The terminology you are supposed to use is grant.
Okay,
Research
sir.
grants, they will say. That related with that, I have conveyed the knowledge already. There are a lot of funding agencies and grant agencies, national level and international level. For an example, national level என்ன சார் இருக்குன்னு கேட்டா, you take your netல போய் search பண்ணி பாருங்க. ICSSR, for an example, international Indian Council of what is it, scientific research, like, okay, ICSSR, like we have.
Okay, sir.
Okay, அதே மாதிரி UGC. Okay, UGC grants you have. Just like that, international level grants and all, a lot of grants are there. If you are capable enough and you are going to do a very highly capable and innovative research, you prove that in the sense, they are ready to give a lot of funds to you. For an example, one of my student only, actually UG student, she is doing in Maharashtra now. She is being as a dean in one university. She has got crores and crores of grants from the international funding agencies, and she is doing a very long, very high level of longitudinal studies he is doing. It's a fact going on in India. So I want each and every one of our physiotherapy students and physiotherapy graduates, they should get such grants and they should explore themselves. Physiotherapy is not a small field. It's a very high level of effective field in the field of health and rehabilitation. Like that, we only should prove, and then only we should expect for any sort of prefix or suffixes.
Okay, sir.
Research is very important.
Sir, my uncle want to talk with you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, good afternoon. On behalf of the parents, I want to talk.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dr. Selvaeswaran.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank the management and you both, because the students needed to learn this kind of opportunity in the Sundays.
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask some doubts, sir. Is there any opportunity to go for the abroad studies, like with fellowships, like a scholarship is available? And another question, they're studying like physiotherapy. Is
Yes,
there
sir.
any other course can be studied that can be improve their career in future? These two questions I want to answer from the.
Both the questions are related with this particular topic being discussed, sir, actually.
Okay. Sir.
Better you get the number, my number,
Okay.
from the organizing authority.
Mm-hmm.
To contact me personally, I will answer for that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank
Certainly, I will help you.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Thank you.
Or otherwise, you just note down my number. There is no problem at all. You please note down my number.
Yeah, it's there, sir. Already
Because
have.
both the questions are not related with this particular, what is it,
Yeah, because I'm the parent, so I want to ask like this question as a professional. You can give that.
Please note down my number,
Yeah.
8190
Okay, sir.
8190
Okay.
87
87
14
14.
64.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
நீங்க அப்புறம் கால் பண்ணுங்க.
Kandipa, sir.
Clarify your doubts.
Sure, sir.
Now,
Thank you.
those persons who would like to ask doubts or clarifications related with the research processes. Once again, for physiotherapist sir, எனக்கு ரிசர்ச் எப்படி பண்றதுனே தெரியல, ரிவ்யூஸ் எல்லாம் எப்படி பண்ணணும்னே தெரியல, how to conclude or how to analyze the data, இதுக்கு என்ன புக்ஸ் படிக்கணும், இந்த மாதிரி டவுட்ஸ் இருந்ததுன்னா, இல்ல இப்ப நான் இன்னைக்கு நான் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கேன், what I have discussed for the past 45 minutes or 50 minutes, in this you have any doubts in the sense, you please ask. Anyone raise their hands? Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, sir. There are no persons are having any doubts in the sense, we'll come to.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. This is Maitri. Sir, I have a query regarding this publication, sir. So,
Yes,
which are the best journal to go for publication, sir? As you said, index journal.
It depends upon your study, madam. You are doing one particular assessment tool. அதோட interrater reliability நீங்க அதை செக் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க ஆஃப்டர் சேஞ்சிங் த லாங்குவேஜ் லைக் டிரான்ஸ்கல்ச்சுரல் அடாப்டேஷன் மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டு அதுல அதோட ரிலேபிலிட்டி வேலிடிட்டி எப்படி இருக்குன்றதை நீங்க செக் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, அந்த மாதிரி ரிசர்ச் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னா you cannot expect that particular research to be published in an international journal. நீங்க ஒரு இங்கிலீஷ் டூல வந்து தமிழ் லாங்குவேஜ்க்கு டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்கன்னா that could be published in a national level journal only. அதுவே வந்து ஒரு another language like international level applicable languageக்கு நீங்க கன்வெர்ட் பண்ண டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்கன்னா you could publish that in an international journal. So it depends upon your study, what type of study you have done, in what population you have done, what about your aim and objectives of the study. According to that, you should select the appropriate journals. என்ன ஜேர்னல்ஸ்க்கு அப்ளை பண்ணா அது அங்க கிளிக் ஆகும் அப்படின்றது. So we have lot of journals. அதான் இது வந்து 1 to 1 சொல்ற மாதிரி இல்ல. சார் இந்த தியேட்டர்ல போய் இந்த படம் பாக்குறதுக்கு டிக்கெட் எவ்வளவு சார் அமௌண்ட் அப்படின்னு கேக்குற மாதிரி இல்ல. சார் நீ மார்க்கெட்டுக்கு வந்திருக்கேன், கேரட் விலை என்னங்க அப்படின்னு கேக்குற மாதிரி கிடையாது. You have lot of you have lot of pathways like.
Okay.
So if you go for the internet source நீங்க போனீங்கன்னா list of international, for an example, you go into the PubMed for our clinical researchers, physiotherapy researchers. PubMed la போயிட்டு you go for the list of journals like what are all, you have vast number of journal articles being available over there. எல்லா ஆர்டிகல்ஸோட நேம்ஸ் நோட் பண்ணுங்க. ஓகே, அவங்க காமனா என்ன மாதிரியான ரிசர்ச்சஸ் அவங்க எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்றாங்கன்னு நீங்க நோட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா நீங்க என்ன ரிசர்ச் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கீங்க அதை வந்து அவங்க எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி நீங்க ரிப்போர்ட் ரெடி பண்ணணும். அவங்க எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி அந்த பியர் ரிவ்யூவர் அந்த எடிட்டர் எல்லாம் அக்செப்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி ரிப்போர்ட் ரெடி பண்றதுதான் பெரிய கஷ்டமான டாஸ்க். ரிசர்ச் பண்றதை விட ரிசர்ச் ரைட்டிங் தான் கஷ்டமான டாஸ்க். நீங்க சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்டரி அவங்களோட சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்டரி எக்ஸ்டென்ட்க்கு ரிப்போர்ட் ரெடி பண்ணி அவங்களுக்கு நீங்க ஃபார்வர்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா certainly they will accept your research that will be published. என்ன இன்டர்நேஷனல் லெவல் போகும்போது கொஞ்சம் ஃபண்ட் ஃபீஸ் வந்து கொஞ்சம் அதிகமா இருக்கும். அது நீங்க மீட் பண்றதுக்கு ரெடினா you could publish in an international journal or otherwise national journal போங்க. Or you could publish in e-journals. There are a lot of e-journals where they won't collect much of fees. இல்ல free e-journals இருக்கு. அதுல நீங்க பப்ளிஷ் பண்ணி விடலாம்.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam. Anyone else having any sort of doubts?
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. சொல்லுங்க sir. Yes, sir. Am I audible to you?
What is the difference? Yes, I am audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what's the difference between a cohort study and a cross-sectional study?
Cohort
We can
study,
publish a cross-sectional study
cross-sectional study. So both are
and a
time framed
cross-sectional.
only. Both are time framed only. Cross-sectional study, as I told, like within a time series. For an example, during the September month of 2024, in a particular hospital, how many patients undergone laser therapy treatment in a physiotherapy unit? Okay, this is a question. And what about the outcome?
Yes, sir.
How many patients have got the maximum outcome? How many patients have got somewhat middle order outcome, middle level outcome, middle level recovery? How many patients didn't get any recovery at all? No change at all in the outcome. Like that, you put a question. Apo within that month, who and all have come to that particular physiotherapy unit? When you get that is your study population. Full study population size உங்க கையில கிடைச்சிருச்சு. அவங்கள நீங்க அதுல வந்திருக்கிற டேட்டாஸை நீங்க அனலைஸ் பண்ணீங்கனாலே உங்களோட ஸ்டடி முடிஞ்சு போயிடும். இட்ஸ் அ சிம்பிள் கிராஸ் செக்ஷனல் ஸ்டடி. அதுவே கொஹார்ட் ஸ்டடி நீங்க போனீங்கன்னா it's a very high level of longitudinal study. Mostly that is quite applicable in case of community physiotherapy researchers only. Cohort study. So some are lengthy process with a long level of
Yes.
objectives. Lengthy ஒரு லாங் டியூரேஷன் தான் தேவைப்படும் அந்த அப்ஜெக்டிவ்ஸை ரீச் பண்றதுக்கு. ஃபார் an example, what about the impact of physiotherapy with the ill effects of a particular vaccine? இப்போ கொரோனா வேக்சின்ல இல் எஃபெக்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்குன்னு ஒரு சில பயஸ் எல்லாம் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. வி ஷுட் நாட் டாக் இன் மீடியா லைக் தட். பட் இன் கேஸ் ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து புதுசா ரிலீஸ் ஆயிருக்கு ஹெல்த் ஃபீல்டுல, இல்ல ஒரு இன்டர்வென்ஷன் ரிலீஸ் ஆயிருக்கு. வாட் ஆர் ஆல் த பாசிட்டிவ் எஃபெக்ட்ஸ் இன் இட், வாட் ஆர் ஆல் த இல் எஃபெக்ட்ஸ் இன் இட்? ஜஸ்ட் லைக் தட் ஒன் டேல நீங்க அந்த ரிசல்ட் கொடுத்துட முடியுமா? அந்த ரிசர்ச் பண்ணி இட்ஸ் நாட் பாசிபிள். ஸோ யூ ஆர் சப்போஸ் டு டூ அ
Yes, sir.
multiple sample size வச்சுட்டு longer time period you are supposed to do the research process by continuously observing and analyzing and collecting the data, analyzing on all those data, and then only you could come for a conclusion or conclusions. அது வந்து cohort study. Mostly community இப்போ வந்து கம்யூனிட்டி மெடிசின் சொல்றோம், இல்ல கம்யூனிட்டி பேஸ்ட் ரீஹாபிலிட்டேஷன் சொல்றோம். நம்ம ஃபீல்டு பொறுத்தவரையில இப்ப நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிருக்கிற டாபிக் வந்து ரிசர்ச் ஃபார் பிசியோதெரபிஸ்ட். அப்படிங்கும்போது கம்யூனிட்டி பிசியோதெரப்பில மோஸ்ட் வாண்டட் ஆல் அரௌண்ட் த டெவலப்ட் கண்ட்ரீஸ். ரொம்ப அதிகமா அவங்களுக்கு தேவைப்படுறது யாருன்னு கேட்டா, ஒன்னு வந்து ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் பிசியோதெரபிஸ்ட், இன்னொன்னு வந்து கம்யூனிட்டி பிசியோதெரபிஸ்ட். பட் நோ ஒன் இஸ் டேக்கிங் கம்யூனிட்டி பிசியோதெரப்பியை வந்து எம்பிடி படிக்கிறதுக்கு பயங்கரமா யோசிக்கிறாங்க. பட் that particular field is having a high level of scope to earn and to get jobs in abroad. So இப்போ community physiotherapy ல நீங்க ரிசர்ச் பண்ணனும்னா cohort study only you should do. சரிங்களா? எஸ் சந்தோஷ் ராஜா சார். எஸ் சார். Yes, sir. We will conclude, sir. Thank you for the opportunity being given. Thank you for each and every one of the audience for me to share my knowledge. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone.